Hey, what's up, folks? So today we're going to be taking a look again at this is a load cell faster than a potentiometer, testing my CSL Elites. What I'm doing is going up against old times that I set on my T3PA pedals. So this week for the championship Rensetto race, we're going to be racing at Paul Ricard circuit. So I'm going to take this opportunity to use this circuit, which I haven't been on for quite some time, to just test out very quickly, does this pedal go any faster. So let's have a quick look at the old stats just to see what times we'd set before, because I haven't been on this, as I say, for quite some time now. Let's see. So we have here Paul Ricard 157.3, and let's see if there's a different version, because that looks to be the 2018 version. So let's have a quick flick here. The 2019 version, we got a 158.4, and I'm guessing there might be a 2020 version, which I probably haven't driven on at all. There you go, 2020 version, no time. So we're looking for a 157.360. So what I'm gonna do, select Paul Ricard. We'll go with a 2019 because that's what I'm gonna be doing for the championship. So let's see here. Paul Ricard, nice one. Confirm that, and we just want to go onto hot lap mode. That'd be good enough just for this test, because that's what it was done before. Or 2019 one, it says 150. Okay, let's go to the 2018 version. Here, 157.3. So okay, so here we are at the start of the hot lap challenge. As we know, we're looking for a 157.360. Let's see what our setup was that we last used. Very simple setup. Last time we were here was back in October. So there's 20-minute setup, a 30-minute setup, and that's it. So I'm just gonna go with, I have no way of telling if I set that time with an aggressive setup or if I use this one, but I'll test this out for now. We'll try this one. Everything's probably well and truly off. I know those tire pressures are going to be terrible, but just for the sake of doing the experiment in a similar fashion, let's see, and maybe if we have to make some adjustments, we do. But I'm trying to keep the circumstances roughly the same. Okay, so here we go as we cross the start finish line. Unlike a lot of circuits, the first turn is a left-hander here. Gonna brake it though just after the 100-meter board, and already made a hash of that. So we know that we really can't brake that late. Alright, so maybe we're not going to do this first lap at full speed. That's probably a better way of going about it. Just quickly, just relearn the circuit. Okay, I'm probably the longest straight on the calendar right now, which is obviously incredibly important to get a great exit, which we did not do there. These tire pressures are well over what they should be. No. Alright, we're gonna finish the lap anyway, just to see what the time is. Then we're gonna pull into the pits, adjust these tire pressures because they're ridiculous. Alright, so well behind our best time, regardless. Tire pressures are off the chain right now. Alright, back to the pits. Let's adjust those at the very least. Alright, so let's try again. Alright, so I mean, I doubt very much that we're going to get anywhere near 157 territory with that, but definitely not the best exit, and you can definitely run to the right there as well. But again, just warming up right now. Tire pressures are still crazy. They could come down by quite some. I could tell you straight away, that middle sector there, the ability to like trail into that, definitely helpful. So it should be able to make hitting the apexes just a little bit easier as this goes on, which I'm obviously not doing very well here at all. But let's see where our first valid lap puts us. 2 minutes. So we still have 3 seconds to go. Okay, up a little bit. Okay, much better. starting to get to grips with it. I know there's definitely a lot of time in this section coming up here. But as to if we'll grab that this time around, I don't know. But just getting used to it again. Barely keeping it in there. Oh, completely missing that apex. But still up. Okay.
Well done, mate. Nice all the best.
So already starting to get to grips with it. 1.7 seconds out. Carrying a bit more speed this time. Ooh. Yeah, I should have known I was going to do that. Oops. Okay. Alright, so far we have how many valid laps? 2 valid laps. 2 minutes 1:59, which puts us 1.7 seconds off of our personal best. So let's go again. We're going to see if we can do this in under 20. 20 valid, let's say. It's been Suzuka the whole week, so this is my first time doing a different circuit with intent for a little while. Okay, that's gonna definitely make the blue for real. Oh, I think I forgot the tire pressures as well. I don't know, we'll see in a second. Fat tire, yep, I already know they're out. Let's fix that. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I don't need that. 1, 2, 1. Alright. And again we go. Alright, a little bit down, but we'll see what we can do about that. Tire pressures are still too high, but they're not as bad as before. Okay, that's definitely a way not to hot lap. But I just want to get the opportunity to just practice this turn here real quick, which I kept messing up before. So sometimes even when you do mess up a hot lap, it's worth finishing it because you can still practice the end of the lap and try to get an amazing launch for the next one. So that time puts us right back where we were at the beginning, which is no bueno. Okay, so it's better to keep the revs higher there than not. Didn't mean to unsettle the car so much. Scrubbed off a little bit of speed there, but not too much. So with this we crack into the 158s. Not bad for a few laps. Okay, so a bit tidier but slower through there. Okay. So it's still around our best time. 159, still off of our PB. Alright, gonna have to be a bit more aggressive with some of these curbs. I think I'm starting to remember that. I love this long straight. Lost all that time. Managed to grab some back though. Okay, so we're starting to make a dent in this challenge. We're now 1.2 off of our personal bests with the potentiometer, so starting to get close to that. Within 1 second if we could finish around here, let's see. Okay. So if we were to finish with this time as predicted, that puts us within 1 second of the time we're chasing, and that's just after 6 laps. So there's obviously certain learning that has to happen, certain finessing with the pedal, etc., but it seems to be going in the right direction so far. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Alright, so after 7 laps, we are coolly within 1 second of our best potentiometer time. Whoa, that was terrible. Alright. Not the best way to start the lap. Let me just cool myself down for a second. Let's see where we're doing well. So sectors 1 and 2. If we get those gear changes right in turns 1 and 2, we could probably dig some more time out of that, definitely. Sector 3, between the purple and the one that was on my fastest lap, is like 6 thousandths of a second in difference. So I mean, I can definitely live with that. But yeah, we're inside the 1 second. The other time was a 157.360. So yeah, looking good. We could touch these tire pressures a little bit. Let's see here. I think this one could probably go down by about the same. The rears, I'm gonna just lower by 1 each. Alright, so let's see now. So within 1 second, if we can learn to finesse the brakes in certain parts, get the gear changes right. That would really help. Yeah, lost a lot of time there.
Your lap time is invalidated. Please try to stay on the track.
Okay, no problem. That's alright. So we'll just go again. So that green over the start finish tells me that there's just a smidgen of time left in the last turn. Should have been on the gas a little bit quicker there. Oh, got lucky there. Oh, no way. Alright.
Lap invalidated.
More for the blooper reel. Thankfully, there's the magic of video editing. Yeah, should have been putting down a little bit more speed coming through there.
Cut detected.
Alright, let's see how we do now. Slower again. Alright, so just one lap to get to grips with the car again. And we'll try again on the next lap. Having said that, we made up a bunch of time, so we know that that can still come down for the overall. So there's definitely more time. better, far more controlled. Okay. Far more controlled. So we're knocking on the door, but no entry yet. Okay, so we got to keep some of it. If we get a couple of these parts right, we might be able to get into the 157s. Oh no.
Your lap time is invalidated. Please try to stay on the track.
Problem would be a lack of a gear change there. Okay, better. Oh, we really put ourselves behind by overshooting that hairpin. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
So that puts us within 5/10 of our personal best on the potentiometer. Okay.
Lap invalidated.
Little bit of an experiment there, but it's alright. So what I'm finding is that if I were to apply what am I trying to say? If I'm trying to apply coming into turn 1, disqualified for driving the okay. So if we return to garage, good. Do you keep all of our times? Yeah, you do. Okay. So yeah, turns 1 and 2, it needs to go 6, 5, 4, maybe 3 on the apex of 1, and 2 on the apex of 2, but with a hard press of the gas going over to maximize coming down the hill. So if I can hook that up correctly, and if I can hook up the last section after the straight, just those 2 bits alone, I think I'll be underneath the time already. What I can say specifically about the difference between using the potentiometer pedal versus the load cell is that I mean, just after like 9 laps, 8 of which are valid, there's been a few screw-ups mid-lap, but essentially I'm almost already on the pace, not having touched this track for months now. So it already shows me the advantage of this. What it also teaches me is that I always try to maximize the amount that I could use my potentiometer pedal. So I pushed to the absolute hardest. I always made sure that I did my gear changes in the correct places, etc. Here I've been a lot more loose with that, and it's been somewhat more experimental. So it's definitely a trade-off between the two, in the sense that when you kind of have the lesser equipment, you have to work that much harder to make it all perfect and to be able to get those times. Whereas so far with this load cell, just by making some smooth adjustments, I've already been able to get within half a second of my absolute best time, struggling and preparing for a race previously. So just after, as we say here, like 9 laps. So I'm confident that we can get under the 157.3 before 20 complete laps, valid hopefully laps. I think that that's a possibility, but let's see. Is this still disqualifying me? Yeah, it won't let me start again. Okay, because I messed up, so we'll have to restart the whole thing, unfortunately. So we know that our best time so far was a 157.810. Let's go back into this setup here. In fact, I have no idea what I set the last one on. I presume it was that base 20, but I could have done it on the aggressive as well. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to go to the aggressive setup, and I'm going to hope that those tire pressures are going to be within the range. We'll do a lap or 2 on this and just see, because I have no way of knowing what my previous setup was. It could have been the one that we were using, or it could have been it might have even been the safe one. I don't know. But yeah, so let's take a look.
Green light, give it all you can.
Hopefully around the lap these tire pressures balance themselves out. But let's give it a shot. Alright, let's just do 1 lap just to see where we are. Just to set a time so that we can chase one. So it doesn't matter what this is. Yeah, it's a bit more squirrely with the aggressive setup than the one I was using. But it definitely helps to the entry to this straight here. Tire temps aren't fully up, so I think we're gonna adjust those almost definitely. Alright, so now we're gonna go for it. Now that we have something up on the board. Missing out so badly. Trying to rely on some of the engine braking there. Trying not to scrub off too much time. So obviously we're like 2 seconds out from what we've already set. But we do have to adjust to this setup, and those tire pressures are definitely wrong. So I'm going to complete this lap, but we're going to definitely adjust those. And I'm not happy with the aero as well. That's terrible for the brake ducts. We need to generate more heat than that. Okay. Alright, definitely not happy with those pressures. So even though we completed that lap, we're gonna actually adjust them. Let's do this. Let's do something like that. It's a rough guess for now. Can always change it in a lap. Alright. But it definitely puts us closer to where we want to be, and these aero thing, yeah, it's terrible because of the long straight. I know that I've always adjusted that, but yeah, that might be too close, but we'll try it for now. But my limited knowledge of like obviously how the car specifically works, I know having wide open brake ducts on a long straight, as is in Paul Ricard, is just no good, and definitely gonna make your brakes very cold. Sorry, not brake ducts, brakes are very cold themselves. Okay, so the car does feel nicer on turning there already just because of the tire pressures. Okay, so we're already off to a better start. Okay, so we're up by quite a bit already. Tire pressures are in almost the perfect place. Car feels nice right now. Could have hit the gas a bit quicker there. Alright, dig in. Lost quite a bit. A lot of tire squealing action there. Okay.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
So it's still almost a second away from the best time that we set earlier. Really taking a chance cutting that curb there. But we're not as up as I'd like us to be right now. Still 1 second off that personal best. Okay. So we're inside 1 second.
The fastest step so far.
Steadily improving. Could have done without that wheel spin there. Yeah, nip and tuck right now. Oh, okay, and that puts us within 4/10 of the time we're looking for. It'd have been nice to have collected a little bit more time from that, but it's okay. There's definitely more time in there. Alright. I'm gonna pause for a second, real life for a minute. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so we're going to try and finesse this last bit here just to get this correct. Completely messed up that angle. But I'd like a little bit more practice into here. Alright, so even though it's invalid, we know it's pretty much what we just got. So that's almost 2 of the same lap in a row. So good for consistency, good for confidence. What's not good for confidence is missing apexes and skidding around. Alright. No messing about because we got disqualified last time, even though we're in single player on our own track by ourselves. Alright, so let's have a quick look at the timetable. 1:57.7 within 4/10. I've been able to do that twice. So we see that the gap between the 2 best times that I'd recorded, it was a mid 1:58 on the 2019 circuit and a 1:57.360 on the 2018 circuit. So we're already below that so far, one of those times so far. This 1:57.360 was probably one of those magical unicorn times that I'd gotten after tons and tons of practice and lots of effort trying to get it right. So to be this close already, and so far, I mean, we did about 9 laps before we got kicked out of the last session. We've done 6 here, only 5 of those are valid. 8 of the others were valid, I believe. Maybe 9. Either which way around. Within sort of less than 15 laps, we're already within 4/10, and we've been able to replicate that almost to the 10th of a second twice, despite it being invalid. So that tells me already that definitely from a consistency standpoint, the load cells already give me an advantage in that sense, to allow me to reproduce consistent times. This is based upon muscle memory versus distance memory that you would use using a potentiometer. And albeit that I use things like the conical brake mod on my T3PA Pro Pedals, which helped, and it did definitely sort of give that impression that you were sort of braking on muscle memory more. There is definitely a clear difference between using a CSL Elite load cell. Clear difference. But anyway, we're going to get back to it and see if we can get under that magical time. But definitely, the more and more I'm driving this circuit, the more I'm realizing that the 1:57.3 was probably the absolute best for my skill level, plus those pedals that I could get. The absolute best. So we'll see. I definitely say that the load cell is more consistent, which is very helpful. Even if my driving lacks some consistency. Okay. So again, pretty consistent halfway through this lap. We're predicted to do our personal best of the session so far. Again, so short of any mistakes, it's allowed me to replicate that lap again. Falling a little bit behind there, but I understand that was partially because of a gear change. Yeah, it would have been better to do that in second. Way too wide there. Alright, no problem. Just practice the last turn again. Okay, better exit. Slower in, faster out.
Your lap time is invalidated. Please try to stay on the track.
Obviously we don't want that. Okay, trying to contain 6, 5, 4. 3, 2. Just crank that extra speed out. And already look, our predicted time is yeah, so we lost a bit there, but our predicted time already was under the previous personal best. So if nothing else, we got that. Messing around, just lost some more there, bouncing off the rev limiter. But it's alright. We know that we're getting there, which is the most important thing. Should have had more confidence there. A little bit more confidence there would have helped. Would have helped a lot. Okay. So 3/10 within 3/10 for our best for the session so far. Could have done with that scrub not being there, but it's alright. Okay. close. Okay, I just want us to improve, even if it's a touch. I'll take it.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest now.
So, just outside of 3/10 now. Trying not to get that scrub this time. Alright, so our predicted time looks very good. The thing with this circuit, it can make you forget your fundamentals, like braking in a straight line, because everything's so curly. It really can make you forget that, and you have to remember that, brake in a straight line. And I think we call that challenge complete. Got too greedy there. But there you have it. Challenge complete. Let's see how many laps we did here. So you'll see from the recording we did, I believe it was 9 laps on the other one. I think 8 of which were valid. I'll have to check that back on the recording. And here you see we have done 10 laps, of which 8 have been valid. And we've managed to do it right here. I said it would be nice if we could do it under 20 laps. Initially I said. Then I got a bit scared and I changed it to 20 valid laps. But it looks like we've been able to do it in approximately 19 laps. Which is really cool for a circuit that I've not been on for several months now. So to me, I mean, again, if we just look at these times here, the dipping into the 157s on a fairly regular and consistent basis here. Yeah, there's a couple of 158s, but that was mistakes. But that level of consistency, I was never able to achieve that with the T3PA pedals, apart from maybe Monza, which, as you know, is probably my favorite circuit. So it's, I mean, I do really enjoy Paul Ricard, and I hope to be able to dip into the 156s here. But yeah, to get that low in such a few amount of laps with the CSL Elite load cell, I think that goes to show the advantage. It's important to note it's not a magic bullet, but what it does is helps you to produce those consistent laps where you can keep doing the same thing over and over again. So as we see here, between, it's crucial specifically for laps 5 and 6, they were almost the same time. We've achieved it nearly again just a couple of laps later. I made a mistake here. Here I mean, I'm only 3/10 off if you actually think about it, which is still pretty damn consistent. I think the consistency for ACC measures you within half a second for each lap, so I'm well within inside of that. Here again, we almost hit the same time as we hit on, in fact we beat that time that we hit on laps 5 and 6. but again, the consistency level is just there. And then obviously lap 10, well technically lap 19, stitched everything together, and that's what we could come up with. So to me, it's definitely somewhat proof that a load cell definitely can help you to produce better results. Again, not magic, not instant, but definitely with some work you'll be able to get those lap times down and make them a lot more consistent, which is going to be better for your racing in general. So thanks for joining me to watch this video today. Eventually we've been able to do this in a clear-cut manner. I've been using these pedals now for probably about 5 weeks, maybe 4 weeks ish, something like that. So definitely very happy with them, and full review coming at some point soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.